Today we're looking at a old MFJ Versa Tuner III. This is a manual antenna tuner with variable capacitors and a switched inductor, a tapped inductor. And the antenna tuner stopped working. Well, let's take a look at what's wrong. There's not a lot of components in this thing. So on the left we have a variable capacitor right here. And then over here we have an inductor. And it's a tapped inductor. So you'll see the taps coming off it. And they all go to a switch. And this switch has fixed positions. Didn't take very long to figure out what's going on. If you look at the end of my finger right there, see me moving that wire? That's because it's totally melted away from that where my fingernails, that switch terminal. Also, if you see the terminal here, and right there, they're burnt bad enough, they're not making an electrical connection. What likely happened is someone had a high power amplifier hooked up to this, and while they were tuning, they switched this inductor switch to try and bring their SWR down, and they should never do that. MFJ's gone out of business, and it took me quite a while to find the right switch, but on AliExpress I eventually found this one. What I'm going to do is remove all of this and desolder the switch, and then see if it's exactly this size, because if it is, I may just try and switch this deck of contacts with that deck of contacts. How we do that is this connection right here is connected to that nut, so I'll remove that. I'll remove that Phillips screw right down there. I'll remove that Phillips screw right there, and then I'll disconnect this knob. Then this whole inductor with the switch should come right away. Use the right size hex key. Loosen that up. Maybe there. Back this lock nut off. And remove that. And this is what really locks that switch to the front panel. Okay, so now I have this line right here disconnected. Take this Phillips screw out of there. Okay, so now you can get a better look at the switch. One thing to note is the terminal that's soldered that goes right to the chassis of the antenna tuner. That's the common terminal of the switch. I'm going to mark that with a Sharpie because it's the one that I want to remember that it was the ground. I want to desolder all of these wires, and I don't want to mess around with them too much. I just want to remove the solder from them and free up this switch from those wires. So now comes the tedious part. I've got to remove the solder from all of these switch terminals, and to do that I'm using a solder sucker, and there. So here's a better look at the inductor connections. 1, 2, 3, all those. Remember I marked right there with Sharpie the ground connection for the switch? Well, I wanted to make sure I knew which wires that ground connection went between, and it's these two wires right here. And I've marked them with little black markers. Next, I'm looking at this switch, and it's time to find out if the new switch is the same size as my old switch. I'm lining up this screw and this screw with these two screws, an exact match. I have a couple options. I can simply try to install this switch right here, or I can remove this stack of the switch and this stack and replace it. That would allow me to restore this to the original size, and I could have a spare. But here's the thing. This switch, you could turn it 360 degrees continuously, like around and around and around. This switch has a stopper in it, which only lets you turn it a certain distance, and then it won't go any further. And we're at the stopper there, and we're at the stopper in that rotation. Let's loosen these little nuts and bolts up here. It is important to remember where things go. So when you take this off, and then if I take this off, now that I got that off in my hands, and I saw how easy it was to come apart, if I can put this piece onto that switch, that's what I'm going to do. So the new switch and the old switch were exactly the same, except this shaft right here is a little bit bigger in my original switch, which meant this hole right here was a little too small in the new switch. So I got some really tiny files and just filed it down. Fits right on like that. Okay, so I've got this dry fit now. I got the new switch bank all installed. It's not soldered up though. I wanted to loosely fit it to make sure that I didn't go through all this soldering and then go to install it, and now suddenly these aren't long enough. The ones that I can reach I'm going to solder, and then I'll take the inductor and the switch out as a unit and solder the back ones that I can't reach right now. Since I soldered half of these with it all lined up and in place and at the right length, I took it out, and now I've got 1, 2, 3 that I can solder on the back side, and I don't need to worry about the thing not fitting once I get these final ones soldered. So I'm going to put this back. So I've got one lead on the center part of the switch, and I do not want to see continuity when I touch anywhere in this chassis. I'm touching the threaded part, touch back here, touch the side of the casing. It's open circuit, and that's exactly what you want to see. So I've turned the automatic antenna tuner off in my HF transceiver, but what I'm seeing is this reflected needle rising up, and I'm going to keep checking until I get the lowest reading on this needle. Now I'm going to hold the mic on and adjust this capacitive load here, and I'm trying to get that needle, the reflected, to be as low as possible. So it's pretty finicky. Let's try that, and now I'm going to try this capacitive load and try and get it down as low as possible. When you get one down, you go back and touch the other one up. Now let's see if it's any better. Oh yeah, look at that. On E, the reflections don't even move, but I'm getting my forward power. So, and I'll just do a fine tune on these capacitors. There you go. Okay, well that concludes this edition of DIY Guy 123.